deflect down, parry punch. Welcome. Tonight we're going to start off a new series on favorite moves from Tai Chi. It is by popular request, that is request of one of my students who I was working on with this today, and he asked me to put up this video to help him work through it on the weekend, so here we go. This is a move very common in Yang style called deflect down, parry punch, or combination of moves, however you want to think of it. I like to think of it as one thing, and it looks a little bit like this. It starts off in a gong bu, as we've been doing, and this particular hand posture, which is brush knee twist step. A couple things to note about this. One, this rear hand is basically at about waist high, so it's like you're patting a small child on the head or a large dog. And my front hand is basically right in the center of my body. It's right on my center line. And as I start this maneuver, I drop back in my gong bu and I form a fist with that front hand. And it deflects down. So if I do this without a waist twist whatsoever and I just drop my weight straight back, my hand is going to form a fist and come straight down my center line to about waist height. The way I do it in the form is I drop back and I twist through my hip here, but my hand still drops on my center line. It just gives it the optical illusion there of moving off to the side. It's actually my center that's shifted. So my hand is still right on my center line and stays on my center line for the entire movement. Deflect down. Emphasis on the down. This just goes straight down. All right, we're just going to let gravity take it. All right. No effort, don't hold it up. Deflect down. From there, we move on to parry, and parry happens with our other hand. And what it's going to do is it's basically just going to reach in and slap or smack whatever is in front of us on our center line. And we want to give it a real smack with the heel of our hand, that bony protrusion there that sort of attaches to the longer bones in our forearm. We want to go through there, right? And smack that. Pa, pa, pa. Okay. From the beginning, we start off brush knee twist step, deflect down, turn out the heel or turn out the toes. As we transfer our weight forward, we come up our center line with both hands. Toes come in nice and close. We're going to step out, keeping our original width, and our toes are still going to be pointing out to the corner. So we got one toe set going out there, one toe set going out there. Hands are still on my center line. As I transfer my weight and I get nice and centered, my front hand comes out and hits. My rear hand just stays in that fist and drifts back, nice and in touch with my hips. You can add a little bit of pull with the elbow if you like. Just nice and casual. Brush knee. deflect down, parry, and then the last thing we do is we step up, and as our foot comes forward and our hips twist, we punch. Again, fist still on the center line, rear hand guarding on my center line. So it looks like my hands are moving side to side, but really it's just me twisting side to side, and my hands are staying on my center line for basically the whole thing. Again, from the beginning, toes out, step forward, gongbu. Drop our weight back, deflect down, parry, punch. Deflect down, parry, punch. Reset. Deflect down, parry, punch. Deflect down, parry, punch. Deflect down, parry, punch. So this is why it's one of my favorite moves. This is a Tai Chi that actually looks kind of like Kung Fu, as opposed to just, you know, people in pajamas moving really slow in parks. Brush knee. Deflect down, parry, punch. On the other side, brush knee. Deflect down, parry, punch. There's lots of different ways that you can interpret any Tai Chi movement, and I believe most of the fun and one of the greatest tools for creating a really interesting long-term practice for yourself is making sure you have fun with it, is making sure you are playing with these movements and seeing what they do in different contexts. In our grasp sparrow's tail that you would see in a typical Yang style Tai Chi, you have a very nice double ward off, a roll back, a pressing, and a pushing. We have a very nice circular motion that's taking place with these. Very nice, soft, and gentle movement. This is the stuff that made Yang Luchan a legend. This is his master ability to defeat any opponent and not hurt them. Because whatever was coming towards him, he would slip under it, lift it up, let it go sailing by, and continue on about his day. Deflect, parry, punch. That's the other circle. That's the not so nice circle. If grasp sparrow's tail is this circle, deflect down, parry, punch is deflect down, parry, punch. It is the other circle. It's this circle. It's the one that's going this way. It's the one that pulls, yanks, grabs, throws, slams down into the ground. That's the deflect down, parry, punch circle. With Tai Chi, it's all yin and yang. So you want to have your nice circle, your gentle circle, but you also want to have that circle that is just going to tear things down. And deflect down, parry, punch is a in my mind, a prime example of that circle. From here, my deflect down, this is the pull, right? Pull, drop, right? Just yank that thing down, whatever it is. Whew. From here, as I transfer my weight, I come up on top of that circle, right? Make this big and I deflect down, parry, right? Have a nice big deflect down, parry. It's that big open chopping, slapping, smacking, whole thing coming over the top, bang. Circle. It's a very crude energy, for a lack of a better term, but having that smack down there, right? Drop back, smack. And then from here, step forward, boom, and punch. Coming over the top. Whew. From here, pick this up. Step up, bang. Throw this fist over the top, drop it in. Deflect down, parry, punch. The punch can be anything you like. If you do it in a typical yang style, you would probably find it very sort of center of the gut, maybe bladder, maybe up into the diaphragm, sort of punch. If you do it in a little more like the later Wu style, you would deflect down, parry, and punch a little more up head height and fist more turned over. But honestly, it can be any punch you want to throw on that center line, however you want to do it. Deflect down, parry, punch. Deflect down, parry, punch. Deflect down, parry, punch. Whatever you want to throw, they are all good options. There is also a lovely little hidden back fist in this. Well, not super hidden. From our brush knee, we drop down here and we pull up and over. There's a back fist that happens right there as we come through with our parry. So just before the parry, we get a back fist. Deflect down, back fist. So if we look at it and we want to tighten it all up for a more combative sort of purpose, we wouldn't allow our hands to drop all the way back to our waist, for instance, or to let things swing so far out. We would keep things a lot closer, a lot tighter in. And when using it in that sort of a fashion, we would usually want one forward hand and one back hand. And the back hand is always going to kind of hover around the elbow, sort of in the middle of our body here. And, you know, it's just useful for whatever we need it to be, to deflect, parry, block, you know, change into another technique, whatever we need. To do that, all we do when we start off in our brush knee and we deflect down, we're going to keep our hands just a little further out, a little bit higher up, not too low below our elbows. And as I swing through here and do my back fist and I parry, my rear fist is just going to stay right by the elbow here instead of dropping all the way back. So that when I step through, I'm just punching right there. And again, my rear hand is hanging out sort of by my elbow in the center of my chest. So I'm keeping everything nice and tight and in this sort of a range. I'm not allowing anything to come in closer than my elbow and not extending two things far out. In here. So it tightens the whole thing up and keeps it very small. Also notice that we get, when we keep it nice and small, this front hand gets more of an elbow roll thing going on with it as well, which is also an extremely useful move in a lot of contexts. Being able to take something, drop it down, hook the elbow over, slam that elbow down as this back fist, as we parry, and then punch. So we get a multi-tool sort of thing that happens as this deflects down, parry, punch. Deflect down, parry, punch. Whole thing just goes. Again, this whole thing that we're doing here, where this is rolling, this is going, that's going. You notice in the hands, we also have this same rolling circle. Boom, right? The whole thing is constantly going over, 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 whichever way it's doing it. The same thing as this motion that we want overall with our body, where we're, right? Everything's picking up, dropping. It's doing that big circle, that overhand circle. And that ties in with our hands. It doesn't even really matter what is going to be happening with our arms. Like I've been just demonstrating it as this deflect down, parry, punch, or deflect down, rolls back, fist, punch. This whole thing. Like we don't really need it to be that particular set of hand moves. This can also just be a general overall energy for a very, again, crude style of hand movement. So I could be in my brush knee twist step, or I could just have my hands out, like someone's coming at me and you go, ah, right? From here, I deflect down. I can just, right? I want to pull this out and away. However it is, right? Pull. And slam something down. My arms can just deflect down, parry. Deflect down, parry. Right? Just slam it. Today in class I called it like a gorilla, like a really mad gorilla going through the woods. Just grab a tree, just rip it up, just right? Go all King Kong on this. Right? Like just be make that part of the energy of this. because it is very much that just rip and tear and throw and toss and just gather your thoughts. Again, there's just so many different ways you can interpret any Tai Chi movement, and getting to have a play with as many different types and styles of them as you can. Try and pick them up from as many different teachers as you can, see what they're doing with a particular set of moves, as based on who it all got handed down from. There's lots and lots and lots of different interpretations, and they're all correct. They're all just really good examples or another possibility of a way you can use a move in Tai Chi. There is no move that I can really think of in Tai Chi that is just one thing. It only gets used for this. These are far more Swiss Army knife or Leatherman or multi-tool types of movements than one application. Deflect down, parry punch, to me, it's all about that circle, right? It's this thing. It's this circle. And anything you want to do with that circle, any way that makes you feel, use it, go for it, have fun with it. And we'll come back to this one probably many times. I'm probably going to redo this because this was all off the top of my head, and honestly, I didn't really have a video plan for tonight. So thank you, Tim, for suggesting this one. I hope it helps, and I hope I can edit it down to some semblance of something that makes sense for you. Any questions, fire them in the comments below, or if you're in the area, come and ask me in person. Take care.